It is Fixmas time, and we're going to talk about the Coffee Stain Studios contest. We got a lot to do. Now, before we get started tonight, what I want to do is basically talk about what I've got going on for anybody that may not be familiar, and also talk about the Fixmas contest being put on by Coffee Stain Studios. So we head over to Reddit here. Fixmas Workshop Competition. Hey everyone, as the holidays are approaching, Fixmas is going strong, so we decided to host a little competition for all of you in the community. This year, we're challenging you to create the ultimate Fixmas Workshop Santa's Grotto in-game. Your creation should not only look festive, but also function as a present-producing factory with all the Fixmas theming you can muster. Competition details. Theme: Fixmas Workshop / Santa's Grotto. Objective: create a festive and functional present-producing factory. Judging criteria: creativity, functionality, and adherence to the Fixmas theme. How to enter: build your Fixmas themed creation in game. Take screenshots or record video record a video showcasing your creation. Create a post with your submission with the contest flair. Prizes: winning submission will receive a $500 voucher to lizarddoggo.com and a Xeno Basher replica. So this Xeno Basher replica, I looked it up, it's like $1,000, which is pretty crazy. Top 10 submissions will receive 3 Satisfactory keys to share with their friends. So if I do happen to get some Satisfactory keys, I'll definitely give them to some people in my community that don't already have Satisfactory. There's probably not a lot of them, but we'll figure out something fun to do on my Discord if I get some keys. Winner and runner-ups will be judged on creativity, ingenuity, and uniqueness of entries. Mods that add any new content to the game will not be eligible to win. The competition will run until December 31st and will be announced once we're back from the holiday break next year. We can't wait to see the incredible creations you come up with. Get your creative juices flowing, and let's make this Fixmas the best one yet. Happy building, and may the best workshop win. So, what am I going to be doing? Well, if you don't know, I've already begun my Fixmas factory, and if you can't recognize this, some of you may, this is the building from the movie Die Hard. It's called Nakatomi Plaza in the movie, but this is actually a building in real life called Fox Plaza that was being constructed when they filmed the movie. So we've been working hard to create the exterior. We have a little bit done on the inside, but not really a lot. Now, is this the perfect fit for the Santa's Grotto, workshop theme? Maybe not necessarily, but this is what we got. So we do have this whole area in here for decorating, right? And so this is where we're going to, this is the lobby, as it were, of our building, is where we're going to be maybe adding in a lot of that theme for the Santa's Workshop sort of deal. So we'll see what we can do down here. I didn't really have a lot of plans for this set aside, but what I want to do right now is a couple of things. I want to show you guys the tour of what we've built so far, A, but also B, I want to show you the plan, because we've got everything planned out as well. Actually, let's hit the plan first, and then I'll show you how we're going to integrate that plan into the building. So if we head over to my factory planner, and I like to use satisfactorytools.com, we've gone through and we've decided all of the items and the numbers of which we're going to produce. And there is some method to this madness. It looks a little crazy. And it's really not a lot of items there's not a high number production per item. But this is the final, right, production, right? For instance, many more iron Fixmas ornaments are going to be made than 5 per minute. That's just what isn't going to be used in another item's production chain. This does, speaking of production chains, it does break down what we're going to be producing and where. And so this is kind of our guidepost, right, to our Fixmas factory. So this is really the plan. Now, even though we have the exterior of the building built, by the way, the exterior of that building looks like, well, there's some blueprints of it, but I was actually hoping to find this picture here. So this is actually a picture of the building in real life. I believe it's in LA, and this is Fox Plaza. This is basically what I've been using to make our design in-game. Right, and by the way, in-game, I only use 2 mods. I use a mod that gives me a little bit more inventory space, so I don't have to run back and forth so often to build while I'm streaming. And then the other mod that I use just helps me control the sky, day-night cycles, things like that. But other than that, no building mods, no infinite nudge, no micromanage, nothing like that. It's all vanilla construction. All right, and so what I've done is I've broken down what we're gonna build, this factory, which this is a little bit chaotic for sure. I've broken this down into floors, and those floors look like this. So we do already have 1 floor done. We have lobby, decorations, and this is, by the way, this is all planned out before the announcement of the Fixmas factory. We are going to be trying to kind of retrofit what we had going and try to make it fit into the Fixmas contest. But then basically we've got the number of smelters. I'll explain this red and white column in a second, but really we've got every floor planned out, and we need to start building these floors, building the machines in the floors, right? Blue ornaments, red ornaments, iron ornaments, copper ornaments, ornament bundles, tree branches, candy canes, wreaths, and wonder stars. And then floor 10 is kind of all the leftovers that don't actually have a whole lot of buildings per item. So this is a general plan, and again, we're doing it through floors. So besides the lobby, our Fixmas factory does have 10 floors. So let's pop into the game and see how we've got it set up. Now, I will also talk after we show off the factory. I do kind of want to, I'll talk about what I'm doing in my playthrough as a whole and how this Fixmas factory kind of is part of that, right? But before we go into the top floors, I do want to show the basement. So just for reference, we are pretty high above the pink forest here, or red forest, and this is our subway system. Ooh, train coming in right now. Good timing. I do have a giant spiral heading down that will bring all raw materials up to this city, which I'll show after we get through the Fixmas factory. But this is actually the source of the copper ore and iron ore that we need to make the copper and iron ornaments for the Fixmas factory, right? So we have a lot of stuff already coming in, right? It's just sitting because we don't have the factory on, but this is the source for those raw materials for this factory. Okay, so that's the subway, and then our sort of source material. We do have an elevator set over there, plenty of room for John McClane to crawl inside of, and then we do have some stairs. So after the lobby decorating floor, the next floors I have striped red and white lighting. Okay, this one is red, obviously. This is our smelting, right? We get our iron and our copper ores smelted into ingots, and then the next floor is white. And the idea is to kind of, you know, make the whole building look a little bit like a candy cane. The effect is sort of working. I may make some adjustments. There's some ideas that I was trying out. There's some lights on the floor over there. I don't know if I'm gonna keep with that. They're sort of experimenting, but basically each of these floors, all the way up to 10, we have alternating red and white, and we are gonna be filling out each of these floors, as I mentioned, with the plan of each of those items. So let's go on and head all the way up to the top. And then if you remember in the movie, which by the way, the movie Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So don't let anybody tell you differently. This is the last floor for production, and then we do have a little bit of extra room up here for some logistics. And then finally up top, I do have some of our drone ports here to move items from this factory, finished items, over to our other building that is existing in our city. This is our central storage building that is really the only other building up here right now. And then we'll fly drones. That's actually a drone port floor in the central storage, right? Those are drone ports, or the tops of them. And then we'll be able to fly over our relatively small amount of items per minute into central storage, and we'll store them where we store everything else. So that is pretty much the setup. I really do like how this turned out. I tried to copy the building design the best I could with Satisfactory's, building limitations, but I think it turned out very well. I do have this blue light running around it, and that is sort of the theme for the city in general. I am making a cyberpunk city theme for my playthrough, right? So this Fixmas factory, this city building, is only one factory, right? It just happens to be, because of timing, the first one that we're really building. I do have a plan for this entire platform, and we actually will have to expand this platform. The key building, of course, is this one in the center for central storage that I talked about. This is pretty detailed in there. We can also see down here up above, it's a nice view. I'm gonna have some working highways, some streets running throughout the city here, and I want to have lots of trucks moving items between buildings. I'm really looking forward to getting that. This quadrant down here with the Fixmas factory, this is going to be our rocket fuel giant building here, this kind of L-shaped building. You can sort of see the foundations that I've laid out. That's going to be a rocket fuel factory, probably relatively short. I'll go with the probably like industrial, exposed pipes kind of a look for this, as my thought, kind of make it look grungy. Again, we're doing a cyberpunk city, and this is maybe sort of the industrial nasty part of town. So I think that'll be really fun. And then over here is going to be most of our basic items, from iron plates to aluminum. Over in this area, computers, stuff like that. And then the northern quadrants of the city, we are going to do some kind of basically the phase 4 and 5 elevator parts, right? Those buildings over there. I do have some interesting thoughts for what the shapes of the buildings are going to be, but this is really the plan, and this Fixmas factory is just part of it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting all of this stuff built. And the last thing I want to talk about real quick before we get started is, because the Fixmas contest ends on December 31st, and currently today is December 21st, right? So 10 days. I am going to have to increase my live streaming frequency with Satisfactory in order to get this done on time. So we're going to be streaming a lot. Okay. I do have work on Monday, but after that, I have most days off up until after the 1st. So we're gonna be doing a lot of streaming. I usually stream 6 to, well, actually more like 8 to 12 hours. I may do more frequent, shorter streams. We'll see how it goes. But this is really the plan. And again, I stream on YouTube and Twitch. If you only see me on one, feel free to look me up in the other one. Yeah, let's get going and see if we can make a plan for these next floors.